Hey, Halloween, even though it's not Halloween yet. Theodore Hodel here again. Since this is my first Halloween with this channel, even though I canceled the series a few months back, uh, I am going to be reading Sonic.exe. Now, this is going to be like a Halloween treat. You could think of it like the monster cereals that we get every Halloween: Blueberry, Count Chocula, and Frankenberry. Okay, so since this is my first Halloween with this channel and with you guys, I am gonna, like I said, I'm gonna react to Sonic.exe. Oh, so pumped! I've been playing this for a year, well, not a year. I can't say that because I just started. A couple of weeks now. So let's get to it. Sonic.exe. I'm a total Sonic the Hedgehog fan, much like everyone else. I'm not. I like Mario. I like the newer games, but I don't mind playing the classics. I don't think I've ever played a glitchier games, don't you mean game, before. Though, I don't think I want to play any after the experience I had. You probably played Sonic Boom and or Sonic 06. It started on a nice summer afternoon. I was playing Sonic Unleashed. I like how you get to explore the towns in it. Cool. Until I noticed out of my peripheral vision that the mailman had arrived and put something in my mailbox as usual and left. I paused my game to go see what I got in the mail. The only thing in the mailbox was a CD case for computers and a note. I took it inside. I looked at the note first and realized it was from my dear friend Kyle. Let's just hum that. Wow. Wow, dude. Friend of the year, everyone. Let's give him a round of applause. Okay. Whom I hadn't heard from in 2 weeks. Seriously? I don't talk to some of my friends for 2 weeks, even though I see them at school. I know that because I recognized his handwriting. Though, what was weird is how it looked. It looked badly written and scratchy, and somewhat difficult to read, as if Kyle was having a hard time writing it down and did it in a hurry. This is what he wrote. Tom, I can't take it anymore. I had to get rid of this thing somehow before it was too late. And I was hoping you'd do it for me. I can't do it. He's after me. And if you don't destroy the CD, he'll come after you too. He's too fast for me. Please, Tom, destroy this godforsaken disc before he comes after you too. It's too late for me. Destroy the disc and it'll destroy him. But do it quick, otherwise he'll catch you. Don't even play the game. It's what he wants. Just destroy him. Please. Kyle. Whoa. I actually thought that was actually pretty good acting I did. Right, guys? Give me a like. Nah, just kidding. Well, that was certainly weird. Even though Kyle is my best friend and I haven't seen him in 2 weeks, I didn't do what he asked me. Tom, you are still swearing on my channel. I didn't think that a simple disc would do anything bad to him. After all, it's just a game, right? Boy, was I wrong about that. Anyway, man, I have crap on my computer, like, oh. And I thought it said, I looked at the disc, and it looks like any ordinary computer CDR disc. CDR means CD-ROM. Disc. Except it had a black marker on it written Sonic.exe. Dun dun dun! It was much unlike Kyle's handwriting, meaning that he must have gotten it from somewhere else, at the pawn shop or eBay. When I saw Sonic, or I should say Sonic, on the writing of the CD, I was actually excited and wanted to play it since I'm a big, why did you put two A's, Tom? Sonic fan. I went up to my room and turned on my computer and put the disc in and installed the game. When the title screen popped up, I noticed that it was the first Sonic game. I was like, awesome! Because, like I said earlier, I like the classics. Okay then? The first thing I noticed that was out of place was when I pressed the button, there was a split screen where I saw the title image turned into something much different. Something that I now consider horrifying before cutting to black. I remember what the image looked like in that split second before it became cut to black. The sky had darkened. The title emblem was rusted and ruined. Sega, 1991. Sound said instead. Sega. No, just kidding. Sega 666. And the water had turned red, like blood, except it looked hyper realistic. Also, sorry about saying the John Cena part. But the freakiest thing that was in that split second frame was Sonic. His eyes were pitch black and bleeding with two glowing red dots staring right at me in all caps. Just kidding. And his smile had stretched wider up to the edge of his face. I was rather disturbed about that image when I saw it, though I figured that it was just a glitch and forgot about it. After it cut to black, it stayed like that for about 10 seconds or so. Wait, why do you have a stopwatch? And then another weird thing happened. The save file selector from Sonic the Hedgehog 3 popped up. What? I'm done. This is scary. Nah, I'm just kidding. And I was like, WTF. I'm not, like I said earlier, when I wanted to say what Tom was, I'm not saying the real word. Okay, I'll say, what the frick frack? Frick frack is a new word I came up with for my story. What's this doing in the first Sonic game? Then I noticed something off. The background was the dark cloud sky of the bad Stardust Speedway level from Sonic CD. Sonic! And there were only 3 save files. The music was that creepy Caverns of Winter music from Earthbound, also known as Mother 3. I mean 2. I almost said Mother 3. Jesus. Only it was extended and it seemed to have been in reverse. And the image for the save file where you see a preview of the level you're on is just red stack for all 3 files. Huh. What freaked me out more was the character set. It showed only Tails, Knuckles, and to my surprise, Dr. Robotnik. How was that freaking? How can that freak you out, Tom? Seriously. I mean, if I saw a character select, well, what creeped me out is clowns. I watched Stephen King's It. Stop! Don't judge me! But seriously, why would, if this freak you out, you could play as Dr. Robotnik, who's actually faster than Sonic? I meant Sonic. Ugh, no way. Now I was sure that something was up. Oh, seriously? Bowser first. Yes, something is definitely wrong. You're gonna destroy the disc, right? I mean, how can you play as Dr. Robotnik in a classic Sonic game for crying out loud? Tom, you're an idiot. That's when I realized that this wasn't a glitchy game. It's a haunted game. It was a hack game. Yeah, I definitely looked hacked. It was really creepy, but as a smart gamer, I wasn't scared. Or at least I tried not to be. Tom, Kyle, I feel bad for you. You have a horrible friend. I told myself that it was just a half game and there was nothing wrong with that. Anyways, shaking off the creeped out feeling, I picked by one and chose Tails. And when I selected and got started, the game froze for about 5 seconds. Why do you have... Never mind. I'll talk about like the sins for like of this creepy pasta. And I heard a creepy pixelated laugh that sounded awful like that Kafka guy from Final Fantasy before cutting to black. The screen stayed black for about 10 seconds or more. Then it showed the typical level title. Wait. It said the simplistic shapes are different shades of red, and the text showed only Hill, Act 1. The screen faded in, and the level title vanished, revealing Tails in the Green Hill Zone from Sonic 1. The music was different, though. It sounded like a peaceful melody in reverse. Anyway, I started playing and had Tails start running like you would in any of the classic Sonic games. What was odd was that as Tails was running along the level, there was nothing but black ground and a few trees for 5 minutes. That was when the peaceful music started to lower down into slow, deep tones very slowly. I kept going. I suddenly saw something, and I stopped to see what it was. It's one of the small animals lying dead on the ground, bleeding. That was when the music started to slow down. Tails had a shocked, saddened look on his face that I never saw him have before. So I had him move along, and he kept that worried look on his face. As he kept moving, I saw more dead animals as Tails moved past them, looking more and more worried as the music lowers, and he moves past more dead animals. I was shocked to see how they all died. They looked like somebody killed them in rather gruesome ways. A squirrel was hanging on a tree with what happened to be his entrails hanging out. A bunny had all 4 of his limbs torn off. A duck had his eyes gouged out and his throat slit. I felt sick to my stomach when I saw this massacre, and apparently so did Tails. After a few more seconds, there was no more animals and the music seemed to stop. I still kept Tails to continue. Okay, now that part was a little gruesome and a bit scary. Not really. But seriously, a typo just ruins it. I know I do typos all the time and misread things. After a minute passed after the music stopped, Tails was running up a hill and then he stopped. It wasn't until I saw why. Sonic was just there on the other side of the screen, with his back against Tails with his eyes closed. Tails looked happy to see Sonic, but then his smile faltered, obviously noticing that Sonic wasn't responding to him. Not acting as if he was totally oblivious to Tails' presence. Tails walked slowly towards Sonic, and I noticed that I wasn't even moving my keyboard to make a move. So this had to have been a cutscene. Suddenly, I began to have a growing feel of dread as Tails walked closer to Sonic to get his attention. I felt that Tails was in danger and something bad was going to happen. I heard faint start growing louder as Tails was but inches away from Sonic and stopped and stuck his head out to touch. Wait, hand. Sorry about that. That was my fault. Hand out to touch him. That foreboding feeling in my gut was growing stronger, and I felt the urge to tell Tails to get away from Sonic as the stab grew louder. Suddenly, in that split second, I saw Sonic's eyes open, and they were black with glowing with those red glowing dots. Those are called pupils or irises. I don't know which one. Wait, just like that title stream, though there wasn't a smile. When that happened, the screen turned black and the static sound was off. It stayed black for about 7 seconds. Then white text appeared forming a message saying, "Hello." Okay, I'm gonna try to do this voice. Awesome. "Hello, do you want to play?" Okay, that was kind of weird. Sorry about that. At this point, I was creeped out. I didn't want to continue with the game, but my curiosity got the better of me when I was taken to a different level, with the level title now saying hide and seek. This time, I was in the Angel Island level from Sonic 3, and it looked like everything was on fire. Tails looked as though he was scared out of his wits this time. He actually looked at me and made frantic gestures to me as if he wanted to get out of the area he was in as fast. Wait, out of the area he was in as fast as possible? Okay, that wasn't a typo. That was me. I was starting to get freaked out by this. I mean, Tails was actually breaking the fourth wall, trying to tell me to get him out of there. So I pressed down on the arrow keys as hard as I could, and made him run fast as he could. A pixelated version of that creepy theme when you meet Shadow at the Ark as Robotnik from SA2 or Sonic Adventure 2. Explain as I made Tails trek through the desolated forest trying to help him escape from whatever he was trying to run from. Suddenly, I heard that creepy laugh again. That awful capital laugh. Right after 10 seconds have passed as I helped Tails run through the forest, then I started seeing flashes of Sonic popping up everywhere on the screen. Again with those black and red eyes. The music changed to the suspenseful drowning jingle as I see Sonic behind Tails slowly gaining up on him. Flying. Sonic wasn't running. He was actually flying. The flying poses his sprite was making looked very similar to Metal Sonic's flying pose in Sonic CD. Except it was just Sonic and he had the black and red eyes again. Only this time he had the most deranged looking grin on his face. He looked as though he was enjoying the torment he was giving the poor little bots as he gained up to him. Suddenly, when Tails tripped, another cutscene, the music stopped and Sonic vanished. Tails laid there and started crying for 15 seconds. The scene was rather upsetting to watch, and I kinda teared up myself. But then Sonic appeared right in front of Tails, and Tails looked up and blood started to come down those blackened eyes of Sonic's as a grin slowly grew up from his face. As he looked down at the horrified bots, I could do nothing but watch. Actually, Tommy could have just unplugged your computer, unless it was a laptop, or forcibly eject the disk. Sorry. Just a split second, Sonic lunged at Tails right before the screen went black. There was a loud screeching that only lasted 5 seconds. The text returned only this time. It said, okay, I'm gonna do a Bane voice. "You're too slow. Want to try again?" And then that god-awful laugh came with it. I was so shocked by what had happened. Did Sonic murder Tails? No, he couldn't have. He and Tails are supposed to be best friends, right? Why did Sonic do that to him? I shook off the I shook the shock. Talk about alliteration. As I was brought back to the character select, the save file that had Tails was different. Tails was no longer in the bots event in this TV stream itself. which was flickering with red static. Tails', Tails' expression scared me. His eyes were black and bleeding. His orange fur had gone black, and he had an expression of anguish on his face. Trying to ignore it, I picked Knuckles next. The laugh came again, and the screen cut to black and stayed there for another 10 seconds. This time the level said, "You can't run." I was really freaked out by now. I couldn't really tell if this was a glitch or a hack or some kind of sick, twisted joke or anything really. But despite my fear of what happened next, I kept playing. The next level looked much different. It had the ground as scrap rain zone, but the sky background looked like the main menu. It had the dark, reddish, cloudy sky, but the music that creeped me out the most sounded like Gygas's theme right after you beat Pokey and Earthbound, or Mother 2. Ha! Got it right. I also noticed that Knuckles looked afraid, just like Tails did. Though not as much, more rather, he looked a little unnerved. He broke the fourth wall, just like Tails did, and looked as if he wasn't sure about going on, but I made him move anyway. He ran down this straight pathway in this dark level, and as he did, the screen started to flicker, red stack a couple of times, and then that maddening laugh came again. Then, after a few seconds of running, I noticed several bloodstains on the metallic ground. I felt a growing sense of fear again, thinking something horrible was going to happen to Knuckles. He looked nauseated, walking down this blood-stained road, but I still kept him going. Suddenly, as Knuckles ran, Sonic appeared right in front of him with those black and red eyes, and then red static appeared again. When this static vanished, showing nothing but a black screen with text saying, "Okay, now I'm gonna do if I can, I'm gonna do Batman's voice from The Dark Knight. Found you. I'm Batman." Sorry. I was now scared. Sonic found Knuckles already? What was going on? Anyway, red static came again, and then I was back to the level. Knuckles looked like he was panicking, and Sonic was nowhere to be found. And this time, the high-pitched squealing from the Silent Hill 1's final boss was playing. Was this some kind of boss battle with Sonic? I hope to God it wasn't, honestly. Suddenly, Sonic appeared right behind Knuckles in what appeared to be pixelated black smoke. I made Knuckles turn and then punch Sonic, but Sonic vanished in black pixelated smoke before I could even land a hit. That terrible laugh went off again. Okay, something tells me the creator of this was a fan of Final Fantasy. Then Sonic appeared behind Knuckles again. Wait, okay, I didn't see anything. Just a minute, guys. Yeah? What? Well, I'm making the video. I'm done in a minute. And I'm done. Right in the middle of reading. Okay? Sorry about that, guys. My mom and Dad are coming up to bed, and when I'm done with this video, I'm going to be playing some Marvel Ultimate Alliance. No, I'm not making a video. So yeah, crap. Let's see. Then Sonic appeared behind Knuckles again. Then I made him punch again, and Sonic vanished again, laughing. Knuckles was panicking even more, and even I felt like I was going crazy. Sonic was practically playing with us. He was playing a sick, twisted little mind game with me and Knuckles. Another cutscene played as Knuckles. Wait, Knuckles. Sorry, I'm gonna mute it.
What?
I'm gonna mute the volume.
Just take it off and
Yeah, I will.
TV off in the morning.
I will.
Or around 10:30.
Sorry about that, guys. Another cutscene played as Knuckles. Knuckles fell to his knees and clutched his head, sobbing. I felt his agony. Sonic was actually driving us both crazy. And then, in a split second, Sonic lunged at Knuckles, and the screen went black with another distorted, screeching noise that lasted for at least 3 seconds. You know what? I'm just gonna use my normal voice for Sonic's text. Another text message appeared. So many souls to play with, so little time. Would you agree? Okay, since it's about to drop the H-bomb, I'm gonna say heck. What the heck? Just what is going on? I started to think Sonic was actually trying to talk to me through the game, but I was too scared to think. I was brought back to the main menu, and this time the second file box had Knuckles in the TV. His red fur had darkened to a reddish gray. His dreadlocks were dripping with blood, and his eyes were black and bleeding too. And he had a look of sadness on his face. I began to think that those are the actual characters trapped in those TV streams on the save files, but I couldn't believe it. I didn't want to believe it. So I shut off the game and took a break. I took a nap. Wish I hadn't, because I then began to have the most disturbing nightmare. I was in pitch black darkness, though I was under the light given off by the lamp that hung high above my head. I could hear the cries of Knuckles and Tails nearby. They were saying stuff like, "Help us," and "Why did you give us to him?" and "Run away before he gets you too." Wow, just like what, wait. Just like Kyle said. Okay, no, that's what I said. It's not actually on this. Their cries died out as I heard Sonic laugh. His laugh, it sounded like the distorted Kafka laugh. "You're a lot fun to play with, kid, just like your friend Kyle. Though he didn't last long." I was scared and looking around for the source of the voice. "Won't be long until you join in, and all my other friends." I saw him walking toward me, flickering in and out in several directions. "You can't run, kid. You're in my world now, just like the others." When he grabbed me and I saw his bleeding black and red eyed grinning face, I woke up with a fright. Jeez, that was a bit scary actually. I was right to choose this. After a couple of hours, I decided to continue playing the game. Okay, Tom, you've done so good. I mean, you've done. Sure, you didn't have a lot of character development throughout this, even though I'm not even done yet, but still. I don't know why, but I had to know. Okay, now that's a good reason, never mind. I had to figure out why this was happening. So I turned on the computer, turned on the game, and selected robot that connects. I still thought that was wacky playing as robotic, but anything the level titled appeared, and but anyway, the level title appeared. This time it said ... which I found really freaky. Yeah, I guess so. This time I was in some kind of hallway. Doesn't really look like it was from any of the classic Sonic games. Though it was the pixelated style. The floor was shiny and checkered. The walls were a dark grayish purple with animated candle lights and a few dark blood stains here and there. And there was a dark red curtain hanging above on the top part of the screen. Every 12 seconds or so, that red curtain sways very slowly. Whenever you're playing the game, you can barely see it move. The music was oddly pleasant. A piano playing a rather sad yet peaceful song. But I knew this was the song that played in Hill Act 1, only it was in reverse. Robotnik didn't look entirely nervous like Tails and Knuckles did, but he did have a suspicious look on his face, as if he was just a bit paranoid. Well, he is a mad doctor. Hold on. Psst. Man, I'm turning into Rye 5 guy. Hey, Rye, if you're watching this, that was a compliment. He did a little animation when I just had left him. Wait, standing. He turns his head up to the left, then the right at least twice, and then shrugs at me, as if he has no idea where he was or what's going on. Even though I was scared out of my mind. Wait, what? Mind about what's going to happen. I had Robotnik. I almost said doctor. Jeez. Continue onward. My turn. That was water. Even though I was scared, wait. He did his usual running. You know, when you beat him at the end of a classic Sonic game and you chase him. As we continued going through the hallway, then I stopped at a long flight of stairs leading downward. Now I was nervous. Even Robotnik seemed unsure of himself, though I pressed onward. As I led Robotnik down the stairs, I noticed that the walls had gone darker and more reddish. The red torches are now an eerie blue. Then we landed onto another hallway. This one was longer than the last one, or at least it felt like it. And then we headed down another flight of stairs down. And then we headed down another flight of stairs down. Okay, never mind. This one was much longer and took at least 1 full minute. Then I heard that horrid Kafka laugh again. And then the music slowly faded until it was quiet. As it did, the walls turned more dark red, and the torches were a black flame now. When Robotnik landed onto the third hallway, I noticed now looked even really creeped out. Though he tried to hide it. I couldn't blame him. I was here too. Suddenly, Sonic popped right in front of Robotnik, the same way he did Knuckles, and then red static. The red static lasted for about 15 seconds, even though it said second. I don't know. And then it showed me an unpleasant image. The image showed us a hyper-realistic of Sonic standing. The image showed a hyper-realistic of Sonic standing in the darkness where you could only see his face with his head and torso faded into black. When I say hyper-realistic, I mean like he looked so real you could actually see the lines in his shirt as if you could actually feel the fur if you touched the screen. His face. Oh God. He had the most horrifying smile I'd ever seen. And that's saying something considering I saw that image at the start of of the game. His eyes are wide and black, and once again crying blood, which also looked hyper realistic. And there were two small glowing red dots in those black eyes staring right at me, as if staring into my mind. His grin was wide and demonic. It literally stretched to the sides of his face like Cheshire Cat, except Sonic had fangs, very sharp fangs, much like the werewolf's teeth. You know what's funny? In the beginning of the story, he was playing Sonic Unleashed, except more vicious looking, somewhat yellowish. Sonic, you have to brush your teeth if you want to look terrifying. And from the look of it, he had stains of blood and small bits of flesh on his lips. It veins as if he ate some animal. Wait, wouldn't they consider him a cannibal? To his own kind? I stared at the gruesome image for a good 30 seconds, never taking my eyes off it. I felt as if he was actually looking at me, smiling at me, at face. Just took 10 seconds for it to etch itself. Oh, etch itself like an etch a sketch into my brain for good. Then the screen flickered with red static again 3 times, and on the 3rd time, I heard the capital laugh. Except this time, it sounded distorted, demonic even. It went back to the image again, except this time there was the text again, though it was messed up. But it was pretty much one of those horrifying things I looked at since I had this game. I am God. It was then I read the message while looking at Sonic's face when it hit me. I realized right then and there, this Sonic was a monster. A pure, evil, sadistic, a powerful, nightmarish, demented monster. And all of his victims, including Tails, Knuckles, Robotnik, and possibly Kyle, are just his little toys in the game, is the very gateway into his chaotic, nightmarish world. In the very HE double hockey sticks his victims are trapped in. Suddenly, in an actual split second, I screamed as Sonic lunged at the screen, screeching loudly with his mouth wide open, to an unnatural length, revealing nothing but a literally spiraling abyss of pure darkness before the red static came again. This time, much louder and distorted, so loud that it hurt my ears. I yelled and grabbed my ears as the red static screeched for a good 7 seconds. Then it stopped and showed nothing but a black screen. As I sat there staring at the black screen, one last text came up. Ready for round 2, Tom? The capital laughed, now sounding more clear as if Sonic was right behind me, played again 3 times. As I looked at the text in shock and confusion. Then I got booted back to the main menu, and this time the 3rd save file had an image of Robotnik in the same tormented state as Tails and Knuckles. Robotnik's skin turned a dull gray, his mustache drooped and had blackened, his glasses broke and blood is coming from them, and he had a mere dead-like expression on his face. I looked at Tails, Knuckles, and Robotnik, and I cried a bit. I pitied them for the agony they were going through. They were forever trapped within the game, forever tormented by that horrid hedgehog. It always will be. Then the computer shut itself off. I couldn't turn it back on no matter what. I sat there for maybe 25 seconds, horrified by what had just happened. Sonic is the very embodiment of evil. He tortures people who play his game in more ways than one. And then when he gets bored, he drags you into the game. Literally drags you into HE double hockey sticks where he can play with you as his toy. I can't get the game out of my computer. I think it's stuck in there, but at least I managed to turn it back on. After I sat there for 25 seconds, I heard a voice right behind me like a whisper. Try to keep this interesting for me, Tom. I turned around to see where the voice came up, and what I saw made me scream. Sitting on my bed, staring right at me, was a Sonic plushie, smiling with blood stains under its eyes. Well then, that was Sonic.exe. And even though I didn't really finish reading it part 2, this is actually much better. But the only 2 things that really bugged me, well, 3 things. The first reason isn't really, I won't consider a sin because we're humans, which is the mistypes. That really bugged me because it took away from the scare. The second thing is too much blood. I mean, sure. I mean, it kept me on edge on what we're gonna see. The third is how he knows about this. Probably he has a stopwatch. Actually, might do this every Halloween, like the sequel / prequel to Sonic.exe, which I watch on Some Ordinary Gamer's channel. That's the name of the channel, where where Mudahar reads part 1 1/2, I guess, of Sonic.exe, which is a prequel sequel, sort of. A prequel then turns into a sequel. Yeah. It's either that or next year I'll do Ben Drowned. That's a famous one. So yeah. Write down in the comments what I should do. Should I do more of this every Halloween? Or just react to something? Because for me, I would choose to say keep this. I mean, this is amazing. Yes, I know, but at least Sonic.exe isn't real. And at least the camera doesn't really work on my computer. I mean, you guys know. After my first 2 videos, I used my phone, then my 3DS, and now live streams. Yes, I'm looking at my bed to see if I have a side flusher that's staring right at me. The 2 characters I actually feel, I have Tom, Kyle, Tails, Knuckles, and Robotnik. I actually feel bad for, you know? Wow. Well, that was me reading Sonic.exe. Like in Christmas or near my 1-year anniversary, I'm gonna react to actually something jolly. Actually, Christmas, react to something jolly on my 1-year anniversary of this channel. I'm gonna react to all my videos on YouTube. And I just want to thank you guys. I mean, I know I made a video already, the thank you video, but I just want to thank you for supporting my channel and those 253 subscribers, not unsubscribing, even though I haven't been active really. And I just want to thank you. In the meantime, this is Theoodore Hodel signing out. Peace, and have a happy Halloween.